You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Thank you for joining us today for this chest and upper back sequence. Just a short sequence to work with the upper body and taking things as they come to you today and knowing your range of motion and any limitations that you may have. So having two blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you can use a pillow or a bolster here. And coming into supported fish on your back, on your mat, and you can have the feet stretched out along the mat in Shavasana, or you may wish to place the soles of the feet together in butterfly. But one of those blocks is lengthways down the center of your spine, and the other block supports the back of your head. And try to be really comfortable in this posture here. Maybe choosing to close the eyes or keep a soft gaze up towards the sky. And leaving a little bit of space between the top of the buttocks and the end of the block. Taking steady breaths. Each inhale, you fill the entire ribcage, front, back, and sides. And your exhale breath, really allow yourself to mold over the block, almost like a waterfall coming down either side. Really allowing the chest, the collarbones, and the ribcage to stretch open very naturally. Steady breath, inhales and exhales of equal length. Beginning to come out of the posture, take your time here and use the palms and elbows to just press yourself up, looking along the body, and then releasing the bolster or the blocks away. Coming back down onto the mat in Shavasana, just taking a moment to feel what it's like, allow the body to respond, coming out of that posture, and release the neck from side to side, just rolling on the back of the skull. Looking along the body, lifting the head up, stretching the back of the neck, bringing the chin towards the chest. Just repeat that 3 times. And feel the neck starting to lengthen here, so the earlobes coming away from the collarbones. And taking a few moments here as you lie back, just really feeling the connection of your posterior chain, your back body connecting in towards the earth. Feeling the shoulder blades spreading out beneath you, the rib cage spreading out, and the neck nice and long. Find a steady and even breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And starting to gently lift the rib cage away from the mat, rolling the shoulders underneath you, rolling up onto the back of the head or even the crown. So lifting the rib cage up, just then moving fissures. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers on top of the shins, and lengthen the spine here. Really keep the shoulder blades drawing down, the tailbone lengthening, keeping space between the chin and the chest. And just feeling your whole back body connecting into the mat. Again, lifting the head away from the mat, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, drawing the forehead towards the knees, drawing up into a really tight, tight ball, lifting the tailbone away from the mat. And gently releasing the head back to the mat. Just a little bit of soft mobility into the hip joints here as you start to circle and guide the knees out to the sides of the mat and drawing them inwards. So really be aware of your hip mobility here. This isn't a hip practice, but it's always good to mobilize into those joints when we come to sit. And releasing the feet down to the mat, just relax the toes, relax the arches of the feet, let the feet feel nicely comfortable and planted here. And then taking time to roll over to one side and bring yourself into a prone position on your belly. Give the hips a little wiggle here as you just shuffle them from side to side. Try to release everything here. Let go of all tension as you breathe out. And let's come into a Sphinx position. So the arms are out in front of you on the forearms, really spreading the fingers, spreading the palms, and just pressing through the forearms, pressing through the elbows so that you can open the chest. And if the elbows feel comfortable underneath the shoulders, then please draw them back. If that's too much of a back extension for you, just bring the hands forward a little bit. But try to drop through the hips and the pelvis here, really grounding yourself through the hip bones and the pubic bone. Lift up open through the upper back here, really keeping the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the neck. And starting to roll down through the rib cage, bringing the head back onto the backs of your hands. Sway out a little bit through the hips and take a few more steady breaths. Sweeping the hands back behind you and interlace the fingers back by the buttocks, and then press the knuckles away towards the heels. Roll open the shoulders and the chest and start lifting through the upper body. You may not come too high here, and that's okay. It's your level of practice. This is a half locust. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, the glutes are naturally engaged. Never holding the breath, just breathing easy. And slowly again rolling down, swaying out and relaxing the hands, palms face up by the side of the hips. And taking time to press yourself up. And we'll come into a heart pose here, or puppy pose. So the hips are lifted up towards the sky, above the knees, and you're melting the chest downwards towards the mat. Maybe the chin or the forehead rests on the mat and the arms are out in front of you. Maybe the fingertips are reaching towards the end of the mat, or maybe you wish to bring them back towards the crown of the head. Try to breathe out, relaxing through the middle and the upper back here, melting the chest downwards towards the mat. And gently coming out of the pose, releasing the hips back towards the heels, bringing the hands underneath the forehead for a very, very gentle child's pose. Breathing through the back body, breathing in and out through the nostrils, gently rolling up through the spine and coming up to kneeling. Just taking a few breaths here as you feel the length of your spine, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening through the spine and softening through the front chest and ribcage. Coming to seated, either cross-legged, legs out in front of you, or in butterfly. Sitting nice and tall, resting the sit bones on the mat and taking a gentle twist. So the left hand goes back behind you, the right hand crosses over towards the knee, lifting up through the spine on your inhale and deepening into a gentle rotation on your exhale. You can always look forward or look back over that shoulder. Bring back into center and take to the opposite side. So left hand crosses over to knee and right hand goes behind the body. Keeping shoulders away from ears, lengthening neck, lengthening spine. Breathe in, come back into center. Then dropping through the belly. These are called Sufi circles. So you're gently circling head, neck, shoulders, rib cage and waist. A few circles one way over the legs and then changing the direction and a few circles the other way. Try to get everything in the upper body involved here. Reaching the right arm up towards the sky, lateral extension stretches here, and reaching that arm up and over, extending through the fingers. Maybe the gaze goes underneath the elbow, and breathe into center and exhale out to the other side. Really feel that stretch from fingertip to hip as you ground through both sit bones, really drawing the hip downwards. Inhale, bring back into center, and then gently cross the legs, if you chose that option, to the opposite side. So repeating, rotational twist, left arm comes to the knee, right arm goes behind you. Inhale to lengthen spine, exhale to deepen rotation. Bring into center, take to the opposite side. Steady flow of breath. Breathe in, return to center. And lateral extensions here as you lift up the left arm, up and over the head. Keep lifted through both side bodies here. Breathe in to center, breathe out and over to the other side. Really feel the rib cage expand here. Bring back to center, lift the knees together, and then take a little hug for yourself. Rest the belly, the chest, over the thighs. And maybe you open the knees out to butterfly here and wrap your fingertips around your shoulder blades, giving yourself a big hug, dropping the head down towards the heels. Come back into center and swap arms. So making sure that the other arm is on top. Let the head be heavy. Relax the crown down to heels. Rolling up through the spine, releasing the arms. Gently lifting and drawing the knees together as you give yourself a big hug and just resting the forehead down onto the knees. Rolling up, and let's start rolling down through the spine all the way onto our backs once more, drawing the knees in towards the chest. And again, just take this moment to feel the back body. Really lengthen the tailbone along towards the end of the mat. Keep that length through the spine and the neck. And let's take a gentle rotational twist here, a reclined twist, dropping the knees both together over to the right side of your mat. The arms come out to shoulder height. Maybe you use a block underneath the knees if the knees don't quite meet the mat, and you can always use that right hand just as a little bit of extra weight on the top thigh. Trying to keep the chest nice and open towards the sky as you draw that left shoulder downwards towards the mat. Maybe the gaze stays towards the sky or towards the left palm. Breathe in, bring the knees back into center, realign the hips and pelvis, and then shift the hips over to the right side as you drop the knees over to the left. Again, using that left hand as extra weight, using a block underneath the knees if they don't quite meet the mat, opening chest, drawing right shoulder down. And you can choose to look towards the sky or change the direction towards the right palm. Breathe in as you bring the knees back into center. Realign hips, pelvis, and spine. A few little circles through the knees, and then bringing yourself back up to return with those blocks back into our supported fish pose. So remembering that block lengthways along the spine, in between the shoulder blades, and that block to support the back of the head. Choosing butterfly pose if you feel comfortable here, soles of the feet together, knees just gently rock out to the sides, and taking the left and the right hands up to the chest, onto the heart space, and really feeling the breath, inhales expanding through the entire upper body, and the exhales allowing you to release even further, even more. And remembering those rib cages molding themselves like a waterfall to the left and a waterfall to the right of your block. Be soft through the facial expression around the eyes, the jaw, the teeth, and the throat. Gently releasing the legs all the way along the mat, letting the hips release. Notice if this feels any different in this posture than it did at the beginning of practice. Arms release from the chest out to the side if you feel more comfortable to relax the elbows by the side of the body. And taking time once more to come out of that supported fish pose as you lift the head and release the blocks to the side. and come all the way down into your full Shavasana, really making yourself comfortable and warm here. And just again, feel that body response as you lie now flat. And always your choice when we come to Shavasana for relaxation. You can always use a bolster underneath the knees, or you can place the soles of the feet and just bend the knees and bring the knees in towards one another. But I will leave you for a few moments of silence in your Shavasana, and I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. Taking a few deeper breaths now to bring awareness back to your surroundings, back on the mat and into your body by bringing soft and gentle movement to the hands, to the feet, to the head, and choosing to give yourself a big stretch with the arms up above the head, and taking time to draw the knees in towards the chest as you start to roll out a little bit through the spine, giving yourself a little massage. Always taking time to come out of your Shavasana, never rushing. And rolling over to one side as you bring yourself up to a comfortable seat, either butterfly or cross-legged, and sitting nice and tall. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at Heart Center, taking a moment just to seal and close your practice today. And I thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.